Are you looking for some traditional things to do in the north end of Boston? You gotta check out this video. Hey everyone, my name is Matt Swierk, and you know I'm a local real estate expert right here in the state of Massachusetts with the Legacy Star team powered by Keller Williams Realty. Now, if this is the first time you come to the channel, welcome. We appreciate the support. What is this about? We talk everything about Massachusetts, places to go, people to visit, different roads, everything you can think of, especially some of the traditional things in the North End this August. So, definitely click the subscribe button, hit that little bell. That way, every time we make a new video, you're going to be notified. And I always ask, give us a thumbs up because we love the support. So you have plenty of questions about Massachusetts. We have plenty of answers. Reach out any way you feel appropriate. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. One thing you have to remember, when it comes to Massachusetts, we've always got your back. All right, so today is filled with data. That way I have sheets in my hand because I want to make sure I get this right. This video is, I think this is going to be a cool one. Now, this brings back a lot of memories for me. I got to tell you, I do real estate. I know a lot about the state. However, when it comes to, I'll make this statement. When it comes to the North End, I'm not a huge expert. So let me just back up what that statement means. Today we're going to be talking about some of the festivals that happen here in August every year. And so the North End, has a lot of activity in this month that basically honors patron saints. And there's a lot of things that happen. The reason why it's sentimental to me is my grandmother used to be an organist, and she would bring me around to all the different churches throughout Boston, to play at all these places. And so she was heavily involved with the church. This is not a religious video, right? We have no problem talking religion or politics. We're open to every discussion possible. I love talking about those things. However, I remember as a little kid, I was just in awe of like what happened during these events, and it was just so cool. The biggest one I remember is the St. Anthony's Festival, right? He's the patron saint of lost things. And they would carry this statue around, people like throwing money. I mean, we'll get into what happened, but just as a little kid, just being in awe of like these statues and different things happening throughout the North End. And of course, the North End, if anyone doesn't know, that's kind of our little Italy section here in Boston. So a lot of memories here. We're missing the boat a little bit because the festivals are starting this weekend. This video is probably going to be put out next week after the first festival has already gone by. Or feasts, they actually call them, right? The feasts, I call them festivals. You can call it whatever you want, processions, you insert whatever name you want. So the first one that's going on is, this is the 108th annual Feast of Saint Agrippina. This one is actually pretty interesting. So the research in this, I learned a lot of things that I didn't know versus just like as a little kid watching statues being passed through the streets of the North End. So this is actually pretty educational for me as well. So I appreciate this whole video right now. So what's interesting here is, Saint Agrippina was this beautiful blonde princess that was unmercifully tortured to death, and I'm not going to get into all the background story there. Again, these are all about for patron saints, and she was the patron saint of thunderstorms, leprosy, and evil spirits, right? So that's kind of a different thing there. But the story, it seems like it was pretty interesting as far as they brought her body from Rome to Mineo, and they document this. It was full of all these, miraculous events, and it was this epic journey of this body that was getting moved, across the country. So this feast goes in. They have music. There's the procession. There's games. There's music. All those types of things. There's all the common themes. So like I said, we're not here pushing religion. We're pushing going down here just being experienced in kind of the Italian culture and the pride and the excitement and all the food. Yeah, the food that's there is unbelievable. I mean, you want great Italian food, you go to the North End. I mean, we have a lot of great Italian restaurants all throughout the state, but of course the North End sticks in mind. I was on a flight out to Seattle a couple weeks ago, and the gentleman had a box of Mike's pastries. That's a huge tourist attraction. Their cannolis, all their food is unbelievable. And it was funny because after about 15 minutes, I said, hey, I got to ask, what'd you get from Mike's? And he said, I got 4 cannolis for my kids. We live in Seattle. So I said, what'd you get? And I'm getting all excited thinking about the lemon cannolis and the original cannolis. And he's telling me about like pistachio and mocha and all these ones. I'm like, that's blasphemy. Oh, the only cannoli you should eat is the original. Like no chocolate chips, none of those things. If you've seen other videos, you know I'm not a big fan of all these different flavors of cannolis. But it was really funny. It was a good conversation. And yes, if you can't tell from the videos, I'm that guy when you get on next to me in the plane. If you don't like to talk, you're going to have a bad time with me because I want to talk to you and I'm squirming around. I don't like long flights. 2 hours on a plane is my maximum. So when I have to fly 6+ hours, or anything past 2 hours, it's driving me nuts. Enough about me. Let's go into this one. This is this one of the big feasts as well. So this is the Madonna della Cava feast, right? So as far as I remember the Madonna statue being brought throughout the streets here. So this is always the second week of the festival. This actually coincides with the festival. It's held in Sicily as well. So this is really cool because while it's going on in the North End in Boston, it's also going on in Sicily. So it's really cool. They state as far as this, and again, I just remember certain things as a kid. And I haven't been to these feasts in a long time. So if you actually go there, you might see me bouncing around because I'm like, this would be fun to bring my kids down and they'll get caught up in the excitement as well. But what they do is they have this beautiful cloth banner that bears the Madonna's image, and they carry that throughout all these different neighborhoods. And people literally will go up and pin money to there, or they'll throw money there, and they put little valuables just as donations. So it's really cool. During the 30s and 40s, they actually used to have a raffle, and the prize was a lamb. And the reason they had the lamb was that represented sacrifice. So this is pretty cool. I didn't know this. It says the traditional use of the cloth banner of the saint instead of a statue was based on the belief that a statue would fall and it would crack, just like the stone bearing the image of the Madonna, from many centuries ago. So a little bit of superstition that goes along there as well, right? Like, don't break the statue. What's going to happen? A lot of interesting things that happen in religion as far as what you can and can't do. So we'll leave that conversation for a completely different time. This is really cool. The third week in August, we have the 112th anniversary of the Fishermans Feast. Now, there's a lot of data on this, and this is, again, I was really interested to learn all about this. So it began in Boston back in 1910, and it's based on a tradition from Sicily from the 16th century. So it's based upon the devotion of the fishermen, basically to the Madonna del Soccorroso. I'm saying that wrong. That's okay. I'm not going to Google how to say it, but it's Our Lady of Help. And so when a lot of the fishermen immigrated to the United States, they brought all these traditions with them. So basically, when you go through, all the streets are going to be light up. There's going to be that great Italian sausage. This is really one of those fun things, and it's one of the North End's oldest and running Italian festivals. So it starts off traditionally with a statue of the Madonna moved from her house at the Fisherman's Club to a chapel at the center of the feast. And on Thursday that's her home for the weekend, right? And on Thursday is when the fishermen that founded the feast remember the blessings of the fishing waters. So there's going to be all kinds of they're selling food, and of course they had to identify Italian sausages, calamari, pizza, pasta, all kinds of the Italian foods, and it culminates on Sunday night with this spectacular Flight of the Angel. So that's a really cool event as well. Now, the big mamma jamma, the mother, which is really the father because it's a guy, but the person of all feasts is the 103rd annual Feast of St. Anthony. This is referred to as the Feast of all feasts. I mean, you want to talk about the parades, the colors, the services they have there. There's lots of singing, people walking around singing, live entertainment, all kinds of food from the American side and from the Italian side. And this is it's honoring St. Anthony, it's honoring St. Lucy as well. This began in 1919, and this has become the largest Italian festival in New England. So we say Feast of all feasts because that was labeled that by the National Geographic magazine, for being a really authentic Italian street festival. So, this is if you're going to pick any one of them, I say go to this one because, you're going to have, there's people like over 100 push carts of, whether it's gelato, cannolis, right? Italian ice, all these different things. And really the highlight of this festival, there's a 10-hour procession of the statue of St. Anthony that's brought through the streets by many of the devotees, some marching bands, there's some floats. and it returns to the chapel that it originally stays, and there's this big celebration where there's all these streamers and these confetti's going down from all the rooftops. So it's like a ticker parade, right? Like it's a big event. You got to check out the festivals. All right, so we just wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit fun. Again, if you made it this far, then you know this isn't pushing religion on anyone. We just wanted to highlight something that was a little bit different. I've known about these things for years, and just I think now with my mind on what are different things we can promote about Massachusetts, this came to my wheelhouse. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, the feast, the festivals. So if you have questions about Massachusetts, I got some interesting questions the other day about visas and things like that. I'm like, I'm not really sure. I did some research. I sent it off to the person. But reach out to us. We'll get back to you as quick as we can. We love the interaction with the channel. We really appreciate the support. It doesn't matter what you need. We'll get back to you as quick as we can. You reach out however you feel appropriate. One thing we just always want you to remember, when it comes to Massachusetts, we've always got your back.